for me, baby.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Máte with mates. Mate, actually. Máte with a mate.
Máte with a mate.
Makes a lot more sense.
Thanks for having me, sir.
Sir, always stand up, gentlemen, when you shake hands. If you sit down and shake a gentleman's hand, in the moment in which you are sat down and shaking the gentleman's hand, you must think to yourself, I am a total fucking loser.
I'm a total dork.
Or, as the man comes over to shake your hand, you stand up as a gentleman, you shake his hand and you think,
what a G.
I'm a G.
I'm a fucking G.
That's pretty much it. You know, like, do you think... Let's talk about the impact that Andrew Tate has made on the youth of this generation.
Massively.
Because I say G all the time. What a G. That's
What a G.
G. That's G. And I'll admit that that came from Andrew Tate.
100%. We used to say when I was at school, that's OG. All the time. But we've definitely shortened it. I've shortened it to G because he's just said G. But I used to say
what a G,
OG. He's the OG.
Yeah.
The old
And he's
gold.
been saying G for a long time. I saw footage of him maybe yesterday.
Yeah.
Where he was like in his mid-20s. So this is like 8 years ago. And he was
Yeah.
like, I'm the G.
I'm the G.
What a G. So he became top G.
Top G. I used to just sit in the mirror and say, I'm the Don Dipper. I am the absolute Don Dipper.
I don't think I ever had a nickname for myself. Right? Don Dipper.
The Don Dipper.
Do you know what Don, like if you say I'm
Like the
Don
Don.
Conrado?
Like the pup, like the big Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what Don Juan is?
Don Juan. I know Don Juan.
What's Don Juan?
The old Casanova of the day. Seen a movie?
So if you are a Don Juan, if you are a Don Juan,
you're a womanizer.
You're a womanizer, exactly.
Don Juan. One of the worst movies I've ever seen is that new remake of Don Juan. It's probably the worst piece of film I've watched.
Not only did I not know there was an original film, I didn't know there was a remake of any film.
It's
It was really bad.
Oh, it was horrendous.
What's the worst movies you've watched in the last, let's say, 2 years?
Yeah, worst. Sound of Freedom though. Watched that last night. Fucking, that's nearly brought a tear to my eye. That's the kiddie touching one, so it's a harsh one.
Yeah.
But worst movie?
I can hold on. Let's fix this.
Yeah, let's curl this bad boy in.
Yeah.
Sit her in. Worst movie? What do you
Like,
what do you
not
feel?
worst, most disappointing. For me, I watched Matrix 4.
Oh,
Tragic.
you've set me on a tangent now. Matrix and James Bond.
Oh.
What have they done?
And what's the similarity between them?
Oh my god.
They've just become so...
Trying to kill masculinity.
Yeah. They've just become so... How do we word this and not get cancelled?
They've just become so pro-cancel.
They've just
culture.
become so... I don't know. It's like they made a female Ghostbusters.
Oh,
just make another movie.
Make your own movie.
James
Something good.
Bond.
Yeah.
They made a female James Bond.
Just make fucking...
Just make another movie with a chick in it.
It's fucked.
It's fun.
It's actually
Imagine in reverse. Imagine like Kim Possible, and they just came through with like
him possible.
Him Possible.
Okay.
Or a friend the other day, this girl that I've been hanging out with, she sent me this thing. No, she posted on her Instagram story about a female basketball player in America.
Yeah.
And it was like a mixed team.
Yeah.
And they gave her the responsibility to take the winning shot. She took it and she got it. And she shared it like, how good are women and how good is this? And I commented, I was like, that's fantastic for her. Great.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. She got the opportunity.
Great.
She did the job.
Yeah.
She
performed.
smashed it.
She
Great
performed.
job.
Yeah, great job.
But then I fucked it. I wrote, I still haven't seen an article that's celebrating a man
Taking the winning shot.
taking the winning shot.
Because we win 99% of them, baby.
Yeah. There's no articles out there like, look at this guy in a vast majority team with mostly chicks who took the winning shot
What a G.
for the chicks. What a G. I haven't seen that article yet.
No, it won't happen.
It won't happen.
It won't happen. But yeah, that Andrew Tate thing, he's definitely had some influence
He has.
on the culture.
He has.
I think
Do you
positively.
think, yeah, I was going to say negatively, positively.
Positively, but some people just legitimately don't think for themselves. But that's just being influenced by anything. It would have been influenced by anyone, really, who blew up in the mass media.
Certain things I don't agree with Andrew Tate is he says like you should always be highly caffeinated.
Yeah.
And like he's like, I have 14 coffees a day. When I heard that, I was like, that is not it. Like that's just not good advice,
not good
right?
for your health.
And I know there are people out there that kids like young, like like 15, 16, that
Definitely.
probably like never had a coffee before, and they were like smashing 5 or 6 coffees. Now they have a caffeine
Promoting
addiction.
just constant alcohol when he was drinking heaps.
Yeah.
Constant cigarettes, cigars.
Well, that sort of stuff, like whatever. Like if you, I don't think he was promoting it like you should.
No,
I
no.
think actually he did say like tobacco and
It
caffeine.
doesn't. Tobacco does increase your free testosterone levels.
Right.
So that's why you're saying it's a testosterone booster.
What else? What else don't I agree?
Eating pussy. He says he doesn't like to eat pussy. That is, I'm going through about 4 a week now. They're fucking great.
Yeah.
And sparkling water. By God, that is the worst thing humanly invented.
Sparkling water is great.
It's horrendous.
I've
bro.
always really enjoyed it. Sparkling water is just water, but more exciting.
Oh,
It
fuck.
feels like you're drinking like a lemonade, but it's healthy.
If
So
I
you
was
get
in the desert and it was like you're about to die and you crawl and you find a bottle of sparkling water, that you just wouldn't drink it.
you die.
You'd die. No, I'd drink it, but you know how unrefreshing sparkling water is when you're real thirsty?
It's no,
Last thing I want to drink
it's
is
just
bubbles.
water with
Last
some
thing I
gas.
want to drink is some bubbles when I'm thirsty. I want actual, genuine water.
I heard a thing. I saw a thing once where it said drinking sparkling water feels like static TV.
Yeah,
like
100%.
you're drinking static TV. You know when
100%.
your TV is like.
100%.
that?
Do you like tonic water?
But that's just immature people. Tonic water depends on the brand. But
It tastes
yes.
it's horrendous. Tonic water is
Do you
the
like gin
worst
tonic?
of us. No, I don't like the tonic. I like gin.
Do you like gin? Just straight gin.
I like Pink Gordon's, the pink gin on its own.
Straight.
Straight. I'd prefer that instead of a gin
Do you like
and tonic.
vodka? Straight.
No, not straight.
Okay. Yeah, I can't drink vodka.
Because when I was sick as a kid, it was my first like proper hungover, like vomiting in the streets in
Yeah.
the gut. It was vodka,
Vodka,
so
yeah.
so it took me forever. It smells like even hand sanitizer would nearly make me vomit just
Yeah.
the smell of it.
Yeah, vodka. I had a few heavy experiences on vodka,
Yeah.
and now I can't. It's the only liquor,
Yeah.
hard liquor, that I can't sip on. I can sip on tequila. I can sip on gin.
Yeah.
I can sip on whiskey.
I
But
can
I-
drink whiskey until I vomit, and I'll be fine to have a whiskey the next day. Whiskey will never. I just don't know it won't go off for some reason.
I want to teach you a phrase in Spanish.
Okay, bueno. Okay, way.
It's pretty easy to say because it's similar to English. No es un micrófono.
No es un micrófono.
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 I think that's how you say it, micrófono.
No es un
And
micrófono.
it means it's not a microphone. So
It's not a
somebody
microphone.
has the mate. This is a mate, which is a tea that's caffeinated. A lot of people drink it here in Argentina and the south of Brazil. And if somebody's holding the mate and they're not sipping it, they're just forever, you say, no, es un micrófono. It's not a microphone.
Sí, sí.
Come on, man.
Y es no caffeine, es mateína.
No es cafeína.
No es cafeína,
es
es mateína.
mateína.
I've heard this from like just the most sass that I've been given here. Es mateína.
So, being in Argentina, what's been your thoughts on Latinas?
Oh, bro. So, I had never really encountered Latino women properly traveling, and I've obviously I've gone to Asia since I've been 18. I've met so many Russian women and like Slavic women, and then traveled all of Europe, and I really enjoyed it, and obviously Australian women. But then I'd always want to meet Latino women, and when I went to Chile, it was insane. Like, because they just don't have farang, they don't have tourists over there.
Farang.
They don't have farang, let's throw in a Thai word. They don't have the tourists over there. And I was just putting up TikToks, and girls were messaging me on Instagram, finding me from like TikTok, and then being like, are you in Chile? Are you in Santiago? Do you want to meet up for a drink? And I was like, fuck. And then it amplified 10x when we come to Cordoba. It's the only place in the world where women will like just come up to you and actively hit on you or find you. Like, and this isn't even a one-off encounter. Shown Conrad a few times. Girls have found me on socials and been like, stalk me down and then message me and be like, do you want to go get dinner? Do you want to go? So it's just completely different.
I've seen it now in person. Like they hear his name is the Maclyf on social medias and Mackenzie
And in real life.
whatever. and in real life, yeah. I call him the Maclyf, not Mackenzie or Mac. And they actually go and find him.
See,
That's
crazy.
That's wild.
That's
Yeah,
wild. I've never
that's wild.
experienced that anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So definitely great. And Latino women are great though. They're like fun.
They're not subtle.
Their attitude, no.
They're not subtle.
they're
They let you
straight
know when
with
they
it.
like you. They let you know when they don't like you.
If they don't like something, they just
and when they
straight with
don't
it.
like you, oftentimes that means that they really like you.
Yes.
Yeah. When they're like, I hate
Hate
you.
you. They love
You just say like, but you like that you hate me.
Yeah,
And then they go,
I do.
I do.
They love emotion. They love the energy of like the good and the bad. They want the whole spectrum.
They just want energy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
right.
want energy.
That's a
They
really
want the
good
whole
thing
thing.
to notice. Yeah, they just want They want a lot. They are a lot, and they want a lot to match that.
Yeah.
The worst thing, if you're ever dating a Latina, the worst thing is indifference.
Oh, definitely.
If she just stops giving a fuck,
yeah, you're fucked.
you're
Gone.
gone.
You're
If
out.
she's like going crazy, she's all up in her emotions. This is not every Latina,
That's her zone.
but from a decently large sample size, if they're all up in their emotion, you're good.
You're good to go.
You just need to
Just ebb and
transfer
flow with
the
it.
energy.
Yeah, just
But if there is no energy,
play with it a bit.
if there's no energy,
Yeah,
she's
if there's no energy, you're fucked.
she's just like, I don't care.
Yeah, you're
Or
fucked.
whatever. Do what you want.
It's time
Then
to meet her sister because you're fucked. That'll get the energy.
that'll get the energy. There's no energy. Meet her sister. Message her sister.
I'm just coming across as the biggest cunt on this podcast.
That's fine. That's fine. Just be yourself. Just be yourself.
I
mate.
am a cunt, though, genuinely.
So, in your experience, what culture in your life has been the most fun to flirt with?
Or Thai girls are good. Like the Asian Thai culture is like when you're younger, as a younger dude, I would say Thai because it's so party orientated and you'll just have an absolute ball of fun with Thai girls. Like they're crazy, like Asian girls in general. But yeah, I feel as you get older, I reckon coming over here, South America, they're OGs. I really like Irish chicks as well.
Irish chicks
Because
are nice,
they resonate with us.
Yeah.
So I found Ireland to be a breeze and just had so much fun. And they give so much banter. They give you so much shit.
Yeah.
And I like
The
that.
conversation is never boring.
It's like, it's non-stop. It's like hanging out with the dudes. They're the only girls in the world where it's like I felt like I was hanging out with another dude in terms of chat.
So Maclyf, you've just told me that you like hanging out with Thai girls who can sometimes be dudes. And you like hanging out with Irish chicks because they remind you of dudes. Is there anything that you want to open up about on this podcast?
I'd like to take a vow of silence for the next several minutes.
All right, well, I'll give the microphone to you. What's a question that you would like to discuss?
Question is, would you live here or somewhere else in your early 20s and then compare that to your later 30s? So I'll probably word the question better. If you had to live here in your early 20s or later 30s, would you live here and then where else would you live as well?
Cordoba specifically.
Cordoba, see?
Yeah? That's what you're talking about?
Argentina.
Okay. I think Cordoba would be a fantastic place to live in your early 20s, mid-20s, and just 20s, like actually. 20s. Yeah, it's a very youthful city. It's a university city, and so there's a lot of young people. It's a very what would you say?
Nightlife oriented.
Nightlife oriented type of place. A lot of people out and about. If you go to the park any nice afternoon, especially on the weekends, it's just full. There's a big roundabout close to here, a huge roundabout. And it's just full of people drinking mates almost every afternoon. There's people there, but on the weekends it's packed. So I think that being in Cordoba in your 30s is probably not the best place to be in the world. There's better places to be in your 30s.
Where would you go for your 30s?
I don't really know, actually. I reckon in my 30s, I want to be in beautiful places with nice... So I think Europe. Probably.
Europe. Okay. Well,
Europe is probably where I think I'll spend most of my 30s. I like the beautifulness of Europe. I like the vastness of Europe. I like the history
prefer Australia
of Europe.
compared to Europe.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. See, nothing tingles when I think about living in Australia.
Just family, though? If you've got a big family?
40s. I want family in my late 30s, early
late 30s.
40s is when I'm going to start doing that. I think. I do need a woman to do it. And so...
Find one.
That's
Here.
out of my control.
Probably yell out from here and we could get one within minutes, I reckon. If you yelled there.
Throw a rope.
Yeah. Throw a rope. You get one.
Just start climbing.
I'm not even exaggerating. This place is wild. If you're a dude who's in your 20s, you got to get of like...
It's bad. Don't worry about
it. This place is shit.
It's no good.
Buildings are shit. The girls are shit. Máte's are shit.
Yeah, it's bad energy. Don't come. In fact,
it's like Launceston. Don't come. That's our slogan.
Yeah. It's like every girl that I ever date.
Don't come.
Just doesn't come.
Just doesn't come.
I met an American woman this morning at a cafe, and
Shit.
she was the 4th native English-speaking person I've met since I arrived in Cordoba 3 weeks ago.
I've met 2, and
That's
both have been at language events.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, they're at language speaking events to go practice
The
English.
3 that I'd met, you're one of them.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
that's wild.
So,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I met 3 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just like no native English speaking people. Everyone here is from Cordoba or like the province of Cordoba. It's so cool, right? It's so cool.
It's crazy.
Nice.
Now, as well with mates, here's a
Hey.
little weird fact.
You didn't finish.
No, that's muy caliente.
Oh, you don't want it?
If it cools down a bit. There's a
It's
thing
gonna
with
cool.
mates. If you say gracias after you give the mate back, it means you don't want any more.
Yeah.
It means you're finite. Fin.
Dansky. Don't touch the straw.
But don't touch the straw either.
Yeah.
That was a test.
There's a couple of traditions with mate. One is the host of the mate, the person who owns
They're
the equipment.
always refilling.
Yeah, they get the first pour and they drink it. They then pour every single pour. They usually pass to their left, I believe, but obviously when it's just a good, we just pass it. Then, yeah, when you pass it and the person drinks it, they finish it.
Finish it, the mate.
You must finish it. That's
Sick.
why I won't have half of yours. They finish it, and then when they give it back, if they want to receive it again when it's their turn, they don't say thank you. They just pass it back.
They just pass it
If
back.
they're done, you know, if they have 1 or 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and they're done, then they say, gracias. And then you're like, you don't have to say, oh, you don't want any more? There's none
No,
of
it's
that.
just you know. But
Just
what they
say
do
sorry.
need to add in Cordoba specifically is public baños, because when you smash 32 of these mates in the park, there's been close calls
Yeah.
of pissing myself in the park.
The other day, Mac went to the park and on a date. It was a date, right?
Yeah, the other one.
It was like a
It
kind
was
of
a
date.
feel out date.
It's a feel out date.
Yeah.
It's a feel up date.
Naughty.
Naughty. That's another type of this. Yeah, and he texted me. He's like, I texted you. I don't remember. But like we met up after, and she was there, and he was basically like, let's get out of here as quick as
Save
possible.
me.
She's not wifey.
She's not me mate.
All right, I have a question for you.
Yo,
Bit of a bachelor you are.
no.
If you met a woman tonight,
Yeah,
and she was just absolutely stunning,
yeah.
very, very funny, your type of person in terms of morals and stuff,
Interesting.
and you hung out for, I mean, you're leaving tomorrow, but like today and tomorrow, let's say,
Yeah,
and you genuinely got this God-given
like feeling about her.
feeling that she is the one.
Yeah,
What do you do?
I commit to her. I'd say, baby, I'm coming back in April.
Actually,
Legit. Or I'd just fly her to Australia for Christmas. Come spend Christmas
For
with
real?
my family. Why not?
ladies out there, it's,
Wait, there's an option.
there's an option. Like you just got to be a high-performing
Yeah,
chick.
I'm open to the flows of life.
And what's a deal breaker for you?
What's a deal breaker? There's so many, eh?
All right, what's a
That's the
deal
wild thing.
maker?
Ooh, a deal maker. No, again, they've got to hit so many criteria. That's the problem. Because I'm at a stage, it sounds stupid, but I'm at a stage in my life where it's like, I reckon being in a committed relationship is the biggest decision you make in your life. Because it's the person you spend the most time with. You adopt
sure.
their mindset, their behaviors, their habits, their everything. So they've got to have like a good sleep pattern. They've got to like be happy with going to sleep at a certain time. Not like be fond of going out drinking all the time because I don't drink. Not have a series of bad habits that are going to like cross over. Not be just a crazy like spending, just crazy spender. Like even though money's fine, but it's like just going out, bad habits
Yeah, bad
more than
habits.
anything.
What about, you want to tell the story of the lovely lady you met
Oh,
online the other week?
online? Which one? Oh, in person?
The drinking one. In Australia.
Drinking one. The fuck is that?
The one that you were like, I don't drink, and then 2 minutes later,
Oh!
oh, I'm drinking whiskey. What are
Yeah,
you doing?
I was having this chat with the chick and I was like, yeah, I don't drink. Like, I've quit alcohol. And then, like, she's like, that's cool. What's your favourite alcohol? I'm like, oh, guess it's this. But then it just carried on and on. Like, everything was just like
You mentioned that in an hour conversation. She mentioned alcohol at least like
5 or 6 times,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's a thing in Australia. People get stuck in those habits because they're so used to chatting about that. Like, oh, put the money on the pokies, gamble, do this, alcohol. Do you watch the footy?
one thing about drinking culture that I've learned, and this isn't a racist thing. It might sound racist, but it's about my race, I suppose.
Truthful.
Well, like all of the countries that, and the white people in these countries tend to have a habit of drinking to the point that they're extremely drunk.
Yeah.
So, for example, here in Argentina, it's kind of the opposite. You
Yeah, legit.
You see people drink and they have 2 drinks, 3 drinks throughout the night. And you can see that the priority for them is dancing and talking.
Yeah.
right?
Proper talking.
And they can hang out. The parties here go for 12, 14 hours sometimes. And you literally, we went to a festival the other day, and there were tens of thousands of people.
Legit.
Did you see anyone drunk?
Not a single person was fucking folded. Not a single person.
Did you see anyone vomit?
No. Nada.
But imagine the same amount of people at a festival in Australia. You would
Fights.
see fights. You would see female fights, male fights. You would
Chicks
see
throwing up in the gutter.
chicks throwing up, guys throwing up,
Guys throwing up.
like chicks taking off their high heels and walking around, people smashing glass. Like it would, and that's in a 4 or 5 hour period.
Yeah.
If you had a 12-hour period of just standing in a massive
They'd
group,
all be dead. 90% would be taken out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine that a big group of English people, same. They'd get
Oh,
into
yeah,
fights.
yeah.
A
They'd
big
be
group of
dead.
white USA people,
Yep.
same.
Yeah.
A big group of New Zealanders,
Yeah.
same.
The same. Oh, they get folded too.
But you get a big group of Latinos, like Argentinians.
They
seem
just
to
don't drink that
they
much.
just chill out like,
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
great.
time. It's crazy.
it's
They
actually
just seem
good.
to just be chilling in their own world.
That's
and,
what alcohol should be for, I think, if you're going to use it, because I can't use it like that.
And when I mention this to Argentinians, you know what they say? Yeah, because alcohol is to make you relaxed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, the whole
But
point
like
of it.
when I go to Australia and I say to my friends, oh, let's go have a beer. They're like, oh, I'm not drinking tonight. I'm like, no, one beer. Like, let's
Yeah,
play
like,
some pool.
relax
And,
with it.
and they're like, no, it's a weeknight. I'm like, bro, it's a beer. Or
Singular
2
beer.
beers, maybe.
Beers.
But they're like, oh, no, I'm not getting fucked tonight. It's like, they can't even comprehend drinking without
That's
getting
me.
fucked.
I can't just do it. It's fucked. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Do you think you'd consider coming back to drinking, but in the Latin cultured way?
No, I just don't see the benefits, because now I've done the social. I've gone through the weird process of breaking the social norms, which is like, especially if you date a lot. I talked about this in a video. If you date and you like, not even like sex or whatever, but if you just go on dates, alcohol is almost expected.
Yeah.
And then when you break away from alcohol, you actually have to genuinely connect with that person. Plus, you get rid of people who only date for the sake of drinking, if that makes sense. Like you go out on dates with them, and yeah, I've been enjoying it. Been going out, nights out, festivals, everything. No alcohol, so.
Yeah. Beautiful. Do you want to ask a question? You got a question in there?
If you had to give up one forever, what would it be? Caffeine or alcohol?
Ooh, good question. If I had to give up one, caffeine or alcohol? Caffeine.
Caffeine. In serio?
Yeah.
Shit!
And it's not because I love alcohol, but I actually think
Sounds
that
like an alcoholic.
this is whiskey,
This is-
not hot
This is
water.
pure vodka.
Yeah, vodka. Well, actually, every time that I do a stint without caffeine, my life actually gets way better.
Yeah, it improves.
And the way to explain it is like, I become more creative. I become less reliant on caffeine. I don't look for caffeine in order to trigger myself to go and work or go and do something.
Do things.
I just get to it.
Yeah.
Rather than at the moment, like I'm drinking a fair bit of caffeine at the moment, less than
Yeah.
I have been. But like when I'm in the habit of drinking 3 or 4 coffees a day, I'm like, oh, I got to go do 2 or 3 hours of work. Oh, let me go get a coffee first. And then I get a coffee, and then I'm like, oh, I got to get money out of the bank.
Yeah,
And I go get money out of the bank. And then
something.
someone calls me, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
And literally, the need to go and have an espresso or
Yeah.
a coffee before doing work
Yeah.
ends up wasting not just the
Mass
time of getting
amounts.
coffee, massive amounts
Massive
of time.
amounts, definitely.
And then, or I just don't do the work because I'm like, oh, I've already had 3 coffees today.
Yeah. You're like, oh, fuck.
I don't want to have 4.
Yeah.
Rather than when I quit caffeine, the first 2 days are shit. 3rd and 4th day, I'm craving caffeine, but it's better. And then the only way to describe it for me is I'm very creative when I don't have caffeine. I'm very, very level-headed and very level emotionally and energy level.
Everything's just
And
homeostasis.
I remember thinking the world is more colorful when I don't drink caffeine.
Shit. Wow.
I remember thinking like, wow, like I feel like I see more when I don't drink caffeine. So I would actually not mind a life without any caffeine.
Wow.
Certain people that I really like as well don't drink any caffeine. They don't drink any coffee, and they have very good energies that I
lives.
like.
Wow.
And so, and alcohol. It's not that I want to drink alcohol all the time, but I do really like the culture of getting a little bit tipsy with friends, and I don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
I do like having some wines over dinner and getting a bit tipsy. I do like having wines with a girl.
With a
I
chick.
do like drinking cocktails. I do like having some beers
Oh, man.
at a cricket game.
See, if you were to offer me right now a bag of Coke, or can I even say this on these videos, or a cocktail, I would choose the bag of Coke every single day. And I
Really?
feel it's like, for me, I feel it's less harmful for the system.
Cool.
I feel like at this point, alcohol is like, it's ready to kill me if I drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that I've had a break from it from a good amount, I think it would kill me.
See, I see that alcohol for me, it does nothing but adds
Value.
positive.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's
it's
nothing
a value
but,
add.
Yeah, exactly.
For me,
Like,
it's a massive negative.
Yeah,
In a massive fashion. In quadratic, the opposite way.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah. See, when I have 2 or 3 drinks,
Yeah.
okay, every now and then I feel like, okay, let's get fucked.
Let's get
But like,
raised.
I would say 95% of the time, 1 in 20 times, I'm like, all right, let's get fucked.
Yeah.
19 out of 20 times, I have 2 drinks and I'm like, oh, this is just nice.
This is chill.
And I'm super happy. Two or three drinks in my system at any point. There's just like a drink an hour.
Yeah.
Oh.
In Thailand, we have a phrase called "lost in the sauce," and it's very easy. You have a few drinks, and then it ends up 6 months of just being lost in the sauce.
Well, I heard this thing once, which was like the effects of different things, like drugs and alcohol. Like the effect of alcohol, you don't actually not know the consequences of what you're going to do. You just lose care.
Yeah, inhibitions
So when
go down.
somebody says to you like, "Oh, I didn't mean to kiss that person. I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing." You did know what you were doing,
100%,
and you
just
did
didn't care
know the
as much.
consequences.
Yeah, you just didn't care.
You just thought, "I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck."
your inhibitions are gone.
Yeah, but like if you're on mushrooms, you might not have known that you were like kissing the tree.
Yeah, me and alcohol.
Actually, mushrooms are probably
Yeah, I do
no
mushroom.
good alcohol.
No. Alcohol's done. It's not bringing any benefits, so cut it
Well, if you have the self-awareness to think that, and then you have the self-control to not drink it,
like a champ.
you're just cruising.
Absolute champion.
Yeah. And that's why I think that certain people in the world, the simple thing of being a little bit self-aware and having self-control
Massive.
compounds across everything you do in life.
And you got to be able to break the social norms. This is why money's so important. Talk about money all the time, but it's like, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're trapped in an office environment with people who have the exact same mindset of that grind, work on the weekend, work through the week, drink on the weekend, you're getting, not just like, are you trying to be like, okay, I'm not going to drink. Then you have the pressure from all of these other humans being like, or just have a beer on the weekend. And it's like in your environment, 24/7, whatever conditioning. And it's like, it's very hard to exert free will over things because willpower is a measurement of power. So it means it's finite, has an amount. And if you're constantly trying to fight things, you're going to end up losing. So it's like if you can control your environment instead, it's way easier to win.
Environment is huge.
Massive.
Massive. And you can almost separate yourself from this and just think, if I put myself in an environment, I will get accustomed to that, and then that will just be the new environment.
That's what happens.
I heard something the other day where this guy, I think he was a fighter, and he was like, when he was in the training environment, he was eating perfectly, training perfectly, looking after his mind and all these things, and he was a killer, and he found it really easy to maintain that because he was in that environment. And he said, and then after his fight or whatever, he was like, I'm going to take a few months off, right? And he started like drinking a bit, started eating like burgers and whatever.
Burgers.
And he said the idea of going back to training and looking after himself was so foreign, even after a month or two of doing different habits, that he thought like, God, how can I do that? That was so hard, but it used to be so easy.
Yeah, it used to be the jam.
It's just environment.
It's just environment, 100%.
If you're in an environment where the people around you are, and the interesting thing with digital is that now you can make the people around you whoever you kind of want in the world.
Yeah,
right?
It sounds... Discord.
Yeah, join his Discord, 29 a month.
29 a month.
But like, it sounds funny, but like, I remember at one point I was like, who do I talk to the most? Well, if I include communication as listening, I was like, I'm listening to like Jordan Peterson.
People you admire, yeah.
You're probably listening to Ty Lopez.
Yeah, massively.
Like, it's kind of like you're having a conversation where you're just listening.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was listening to Jordan Peterson, for example, like a few years ago. I was listening to like dozens of hours of him per week. And I was like, I don't listen to anyone. Even like 2 hours a week.
Just him.
And I'm listening to him dozens of hours a week.
Imagine when AI, you can feed them a personality of someone,
can.
and it's pretty much to the point, you can just ask them shit.
You can already do that.
That's wild.
There's AIs now that it's like the API is plugged in the back of a preset person, like but like Jesus. And
what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
2024.
I'm thinking of starting an OnlyFans agency. Jesus, what do you reckon?
With a chick, and she's like, I really want to suck your dick. It's like, oh, but it's the first time we met. 2024. What would Jesus do?
ChatGPT Jesus. What do you reckon, bro? Real question.
Yo.
If Jesus was sat right in front of us, right?
Yep.
And you obviously he knows your life actually because he's God in the flesh, right?
Yep.
What do you reckon he'd say to you?
I reckon he would say, What would Jesus say to me?
Boy, you sinning, boy.
Boy, you sinning. A bit, but he would recognise the trying as well. My motto is like try and just become a little bit better each day, or more so than that, give value to people. If I can just make everyone else's life a little bit better, then I think at the end of
What
it
is
all.
value to you? Giving value, what does that mean?
Value is just like enhancing other people's life in whatever aspect that is, whether it's just making them smile, making them laugh, helping them get through their time, helping them get through some struggles, helping them learn new things, make more money, exciting them, motivating them, giving people inspiration, anything. Any positive emotion.
I want to talk to you about your mentality around money.
Yeah, let's go.
So, you've probably spent a fair bit of time thinking about money and your perspective on money.
Yeah.
If you had to sort of explain your perspective in 1 sentence, 10 sentences, whatever you want, how would you explain how you think about money? If you're a visual person, how do you visualize money? If you are a numbers person, how do you think about money in terms of morality, in terms of how much is too much, how much is not enough, how much is everything? What's your ideas on money?
Money is simply a leverage tool, I think, in the biggest way. If you break down money, it's just a way to leverage something. It's like, it was invented for leverage. Like if I have appendicitis and I don't want to take out my own appendix, but I have money, I can leverage that money to get some dude to fucking safely take out my appendix for me. And then the way in which I acquire that money, I have to figure out where I can offer leverage in the opposite way to acquire that money. So maybe I do this, maybe I trade my time for like fucking fishing to catch fish. But it's essentially just a leverage tool. So the more money you can accumulate, the more leverage you have over the things you want in your life. If you had $1 billion, I can guarantee you, people say, oh, if you were gifted $1 billion, you'd lose it all in life, be shit. It wouldn't. If you were given $1 billion, your life would be dramatically better than it is now. Because a lot of the shit things in your life are because of things that are negatively leveraged against you. You can't afford to correctly eat, you can't afford to spend time with your kids, you can't afford to exercise throughout the day because you need to work and do things. These are all like negative leverage multipliers against you. But if you had $1 billion, you'd be fucking well happy.
The interesting thing is it does also multiply your personality traits.
Massively.
So if you're a very, very selfish person,
yeah, you'll be
having a lot
selfish.
of money will probably make you selfish.
Yeah,
if you're a person who really, really hedonistic things,
yeah.
hedonistic
things. Yeah.
Like if you're like everything about life is just maximizing pleasure,
yeah.
and you were given $1 billion, then you're gonna go and just like become extremely hedonistic,
eat heaps of food,
eat heaps. You're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah,
You're gonna
100%.
eat heaps. You're gonna just smoke heaps. You're
100%.
gonna like have prostitutes and all sorts of
because it's just
crazy
a leverage multiplier on choice. It gives you so much more choice.
So I think what people think is like if you're given $1 billion, you'd lose it, because if you are given $1 billion and you don't know how to handle $1 billion, you'll probably see.
It's basically just saying, look at an alcoholic, someone who's like nearly dead on the street from like alcohol or drugs, and now just give them infinite choice and just be like, you can choose to do whatever you want. Drugs don't cost anything anymore. Well, they don't. When you have a certain amount of money, things don't really cost things. It's just like you can,
especially $1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion. Go do what you want. What do you think is going to happen to the drug addict? They're going to kill himself.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey?
Yeah, it's just a leverage.
There's a really good saying. It's like if you all of a sudden get $1 million, you better learn quick how to be a millionaire.
Yeah, real quick.
Because otherwise, you're gonna fuck it up.
You're gonna be fucking gone.
All right.
And that's the thing about learning how to make money. You have to change aspects of yourself to learn how to make money.
Yeah, making money is so interesting because essentially, if you have to compact making money, I mean, yeah, you could say really compact it down to like one word, which is leverage.
100%.
But if you expand on that a little bit to a sentence or two, it's kind of like figuring out how to provide a good or service in the market, goods or service in the market, and do that and make it cost at least 3 times less than what people will be happily paying you for, and compete against everybody else that's trying to do that thing. Kind of.
Provide more in market value than you take in cash value, is the quote from The Science of Getting Rich. Provide more in use value than what you take in cash value.
Right.
So, like, if I can give someone more use from what the bird nearly took me out, if I can give someone more in use than what I take from them in cash, I've done them well.
An example is Mac has a course that teaches people how to dropship on
Marketplace.
on Facebook Marketplace, and he's shown me that a guy bought his course, which was $100, right? $100 for his course, and then sold a product and made $100 profit about 30 minutes later.
Legitimately 30 minutes later.
Yeah,
Too.
and now that's within the $29 a month.
Yeah, within the
So
29.
now, if you guys go and buy Mac's course, it's $29 a month. You need to make one sale at $100 profit.
Yeah.
And you've just made back
Like
more
5x,
value
4x.
than what you've spent on that thing. So what he's saying is having something which people pay X amount for, but they have the ability to make more.
Yeah. If it's in terms of money, like I'm giving people use value of a way to make money.
Yeah.
So then that. But it could be anything. It could be like if you're normally hunting with a spear and I'm like, here's a fucking gun and ammo, but it's going to cost all these penguins you've caught, your last 20 penguins.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck, there's a lot of penguins. It's like, yeah, but now you can go and shoot 20 a day.
They can go and shoot buffalo.
They can go get buffalo if they want. Take down a whole buffalo.
Right.
So it's like they're getting more in use value. And then that's the whole concept of money.
Yeah.
And then the whole concept of the economy is like the economy decides what's valuable.
And what's interesting is if in general the human race is moving forward and advancing, then the money is an energy of sorts that's
definitely
flowing to where there is more value in order to move forward.
It just transfers.
So for example, one could definitely argue that there is way too much money in certain parts of the world. There's probably way too much money in the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, definitely.
For example, certain companies made hundreds of billions of dollars in profit for something that they probably didn't need to sell as much of, let's say. But that was kind of forced in a way. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but in general, it's like, okay, this person created this computer company and they dominated for a couple of years, but then this computer company came along and made a better one, right?
Yeah.
And then the money just simply transfers there.
Constant innovation.
Right? And so the best business people in the world are the ones that are just creating something that is more value.
Well,
so
if you just look at physics, it's like energy can't be destroyed. So everything's just in a constant state of transfer. It's just energy.
But the interesting thing with money and inflation is energy is being created in the financial system. So if you look at Argentina, Argentina has way more money in circulation, way more energy in circulation than it did 20 or 30 years ago. And that's why the inflation is so big here. 1 peso used to be worth $1. Now, $1 is 1,000 pesos.
And that's because one cunt has sat there and thought of a system of how to transfer the energy to him. He thought, if I do this, the value of the US dollar is going to change. It's going to make the peso more shit.
And if we print more of this money, then the people with assets will become wealthier. That's fine. And the people with cash will become less wealthy and more dependent.
Definitely.
It's really interesting. Like if that's why we're going on a tangent here, but like that's why Bitcoin is such an interesting concept.
Oh, it's
because
massive.
It's inflating. Yeah, like it inflates in order to pay the people to manage the system. But there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin,
won't change.
And all the Bitcoin in circulation now. There has never been any more inflated except for itself within the system, and that was by design. But it is a perfect money.
Yeah, perfect system.
Because I transfer you a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then.
Until eventually we don't need money. That would be perfect when a world exists without needing money. But it's just
I don't know if that's possible. Like, what does the world look like if there's no money?
Well, you as a human have to change. The things that we want to buy are all because of our hormones and our chemicals and our emotions. So if we were completely roboticized, plugged into an AI as a collective, we would just constantly work towards one common goal, which is the whole point of humanity, is that you're meant to enjoy this struggle of trying to want things and trying to figure out your own significance. So why do people complain that there's inequality in the world when you wouldn't want the other thing, which is to be one conscious collective?
Total equality.
Total equality would be one conscious collective working towards one thing. And I've only ever met one cunt who wanted that. And he was a weird Ukrainian dude in a cafe that I met in Spain. And he was working in AI and he's like, I can't wait till we're all one collective conscious. And I was like, fuck, I hope someone kills this dude soon. Because I think he'll do it. I think he'll do it.
Damn. Where do you think AI and its relationship with humanity will be in 25 years?
Oh, I'm not smart enough to know. It's just going to compound on compound, and then to the point where, like, my brain won't be able to process how quickly it compounds. It could already be doing shit in the works right now to fry us all and get rid of us. within 2 years.
Mm.
We wouldn't know because it's AI. It's just a smarter thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I
Okay,
think
that's smart.
AI is. It's essentially the advantage that humans have on everything else
Yeah.
in the known
Yeah,
universe.
legitimately, it has on us.
It has on us. So what we have is the ability to process information
Yeah.
and predict the future and remember the past. But we can only do that locally,
Yeah.
right? I can only do that from my experience
You can do it
within my brain.
collectively.
Now, we created the internet, which means that now I have my local thought. You could say this is a computer, this brain, right? It can now access a bunch of information, but I still need to go and find that information and interpret it, right? So if you think of somebody trying to become a doctor, for example, that computer in their brain doesn't know what it is. Then they have to go through 8 years of university to become a doctor, to know enough to be able to whatever, and they still get it wrong all the time. Whereas an AI program, you sort that out once, and then once we have AI robots, you just install the software, and it knows not only all the information about doctors, but all the information of all the doctors that's ever been recorded, and can access it.
And can make predictions based off the data.
And can make extremely good predictions.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
It's
right?
fucked. Like, think of us with sheep. We don't care about sheep that we eat. We just herd them into a fucking pen, and then we just butcher them.
Yeah.
So why don't you think that AI would use humans in a way? We don't feel bad for the sheep. You might say, oh, it's so for sheep. But not many people really sit there all day thinking about sheep.
The interesting thing there is, like, why would AI have a motivation to take over? Because humans, we have a biological reason to take over, because we will die.
Yeah.
Right? So that, like, we have this biological instinct to dominate, take over, not be hunted because we don't want to die, and then we have offspring that we want to be safe.
Well, the way in which we're destroying the planet, when you think about it AI-wise, it would make sense for AI to be like, well, let's cut back on some of the things that are destroying the planet that we live on.
Right.
Wouldn't you think so? If it's like we run on like a system of this, why would we need all these other cunts just sitting here like putting plastic in the oceans and fucking eating 300 cheeseburgers a day for a YouTube video? Wouldn't we want to cut back on those sort of people?
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, legitimately.
Yeah. But I think what's interesting is what's happening with the environment is very likely to change at the same time as AI is changing. Like, it's like, it's the game theory is so complicated, right? Because, like, you could say, like, in 20 years, the AI is going to be so sick of, like, what we're doing to the planet. But, like, surely AI,
will figure out how to
as
fix
it
that.
evolves, will help
Get rid of the problem.
get rid of the problem.
We are the problem. Just easy fix.
Yeah, I don't know. I think humans get a bad rap. Like, I think, we're fucking with the environment, but like,
but
we kind of need to. We went from 1 billion to like 8 billion in like 100 years. We
need
8x in 100 years.
technological advancements, but AI has no compassion. It's just going to simply go 3 million plastic bags, 8 billion humans. I reckon we could run with 1 million humans.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, I have a question for you.
Yo.
If you got a letter in the mail and it said, "This is the United Nations," let's say.
Yeah, part of the elite.
Or with the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Right, and we're contacting you because you've made
The list.
top 500 million that we're keeping, and we're getting rid of. I think I know the answer. 7.5 billion we're getting rid of.
Yeah.
You made the elite top 500 million.
Fuck yeah.
You've made it. Arrive at this destination at this time. Blah blah blah. But then your family didn't. None of your family got the letter.
Yeah, all right.
And you have to then write back and say, I don't want to participate, or I want to participate.
Yeah, I'm in. They should have read more books. I'm going to send out an IG handle when I'm at the boat. Wait. I can dig heads. I won't be making the boat. I can tell you that already. I'm first to go. They're starting the list here, getting rid of me.
But, like, would you vote and say, like, yeah, I'm in. Fuck it. Kill 7.5 bill. Keep me. Just keep the elite. Or would you be like, yo, that's my whole family.
Because eventually then the elite become the elite, and eventually you don't make the list. So you might as well join the fight at the early stages and try and...
You reckon?
Yeah.
So you'd be like, no,
yeah, and
don't
try
participate.
And start an army against them.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the way to go.
What number of people in the world, if you had the most elite, could take over what number of people as a percentage? Like, what's the minimum amount of people needed in order to take over absolutely everybody else?
I don't reckon you'd need that many, eh? Look out. I don't want to get us demonetized. Look how many people just went and got themselves stabbed with something that they don't even know because they were told to.
Right.
It's a pretty fucking simple thing. You can look at how much of the population just went and did it because. Now imagine the elite, some smart dude, tricked you all to take fucking something else instead. And then a year from now, you all just die of horrible cancers. It's a pretty quick win.
Yeah. So you wouldn't even need brute force.
No.
I was thinking brute force, but then you're like, no, you just need psychological warfare.
Yeah, just Chinese gameplay.
Yeah. We're getting cancelled.
This is getting cancelled for sure. We mentioned Andrew Tate. We mentioned the fucking the virus.
I thought I did a good job at not mentioning Donald Trump.
Oh, fucking throw them all in the mix.
Who, if you had an interview with Donald Trump, fuck it, we're already halfway. If you had an interview with Donald Trump, what are 3 questions that you think you'd ask him within the interview?
First one would be, if he was in my shoes, knowing what I know, not what he knows, if he could have a quick look, what would he do? What would be his next step to get wealthy, ultra wealthy? That would be question 1. Number 2 would be the same question, but about what he knows that I don't know. So the first one's about, like, what can I already do that I know that I kind of should be doing? The second question would be, like, what would he do instead if it was just him, knowing what he knows now to get wealthy? And then the third would be, like, I don't know, something to figure out if I want to become like him, if it's worth it, that trade.
Right.
To become like him.
You see, Donald Trump's always, since his mid-30s, has gone after fame.
Yeah, fame.
Like, massive personal brand.
Fame.
I think he's probably got the biggest personal brand
in the
of
world.
all time, except for Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus is an OG. He's fucking hard to beat.
He's hard to beat.
He's hard to beat.
Many fronts.
Yeah.
But like Donald Trump, if you just think personal brand, doesn't mean good or bad. People hate Donald Trump, but they know Donald Trump. There is no one, I don't think, ever in history that has been more known by more people than Donald Trump. If you go to Africa, there are people that know Donald Trump. You go to South America,
maybe like notoriously, like Hitler or something, but again,
I don't know. I reckon Donald Trump is more known than
probably
Hitler.
now because of the technological information we live in. Yeah, and the
and
population.
also more people.
Yeah,
right?
more people.
There were probably
population.
2 billion people around when Hitler was around. And yeah, his name lived on for a long time. But like, Donald Trump right now is known in a world where there's 8 billion people.
I'm
and he would
nearly
be
the
known...
Donald Trump of Cordoba. We're getting that way. We're walking
reckon?
the streets. We're slapping fists. We're waving to the waiters that we know.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We're buying property.
We're buying properties. We're trumping up.
We're starting a TV show.
Yeah,
we're hiring videographers.
Yeah, the Trump City.
It's all happening.
Let's go.
It's all happening. Next minute, we're going to be firing people. It's all happening. All right, well, let's wrap it up with one last question. I'll give you the mic.
All right. Final question. If everything runs perfectly, where do you see yourself sitting at this exact moment 1 year from now? And describe it in detail.
If everything runs perfectly.
If everything runs perfectly. If nothing could go wrong with your vision, where do you see yourself sitting in this exact moment, fast forward 1 year from now?
Wow, great question. In this exact moment 1 year from now, I see myself sitting here in Cordoba, having traveled like a few little but intense, cool trips throughout the year, of next year. Like 1 week here, 1 week there,
Awesome.
I see my business paying me at least $100,000 a month, but that's not in profit because I'm going to be reinvesting a lot of that. I really want to be reinvesting a lot. I see myself having a team of like 2 to 3 killers in terms of videographer, editor, somebody helping me with like all sorts of content creation type stuff. I see myself making music again as a something that I'm doing regularly. And I see myself living in a big ass house here in Cordoba with a team that turns up every day. We all work about 8 to 9 hours per day.
Hustling.
We hustle like crazy. My personal brand is growing. The cash flow is growing. And people from the outside just don't understand how that happened so quickly.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen quickly. This has been happening for a long time.
It's the process.
And it's just now it's turning into... It's manifesting. It's actually turning into like, oh shit.
It's the AI.
Yeah. For example, it's like, oh, Connor, like how do you make a song? It's like, yeah, I probably spent 800 hours learning how to produce songs years ago, And now I'm out of the habit of making music. But once I go back in, bang, it's right there.
It's already
Right?
there.
So Spanish, it's like, oh, how do you speak Spanish? Yeah, I've probably spent thousands of hours
Practicing.
speaking Spanish and getting it wrong. And then all of a sudden, I'm in Argentina and I speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I spent all that time. So I think my early and mid-20s, so much time experimenting and doing all these things and putting in hours, but not in one general movement forward. Now I'm doing that, and I think it's going to take off quite a lot. So
Fuck yeah.
here in Cordoba, a few $100,000 in the bank,
Chilling.
businesses, great connections, and
Moving good.
where do you see yourself in
One day.
1 year from now exactly, if everything goes really well?
1 year from now, sitting somewhere in Cordoba, but in a better suit, a way better suit, with Python fucking loafers. That's important.
Python loafers.
Python loafers, yeah.
Jesus.
The hairline needs fixing. This thing's been butchered since age like 2, so this is for 2-year-old me. I'm gonna get that fixed. Teeth done. A lot of vanity shit. And then in terms of the business, it's just going to continue to grow. Same thing, 100k months. Hive Mind will print. There's no way it won't print at least 50k a month. And I can say it confidently because I've done it before. And this is a better version with an already existing user base. So 50k months from that. 33 more countries traveled. Spanish fluency. And yeah, fit and healthy. Everything dialed in.
Here, Cordoba.
Cordoba. See.
See
Jay.
you, my friend.
Yes, sir. 1 year.
All right.
You'll be expecting this 1 year from today. We'll probably be dead homeless.
Oh, no, I shouldn't say. Yeah, it's your last full day here in Cordoba. You're going back to Australia for some weddings and Christmas and some more weddings and
Yep,
whatever.
more Christmas.
And so, how was your trip in Cordoba?
Amazing.
Very nice.
Cordoba is bang on. The whole of Argentina. Good country.
Killer.
Real good country.
Hope you all enjoyed.
See you all in the next one.
Máte with a mate.
Máte with a mate. See you part 2 next year.
There's a friggin' eagle over there.
So, I swear to God, I've seen them too, eh? There's definitely eagles.
All right, your one's still recording. 53 minutes, bro.
Yoo!
Hey, they're both still recording. Great.